Austin, how are you doing today?
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet. That's a bar, bro. What does that mean?
So, for some context here, we were watching a particular, anime in the soundproof movie theater room
With
that
a 300-pound door.
with a 300-pound door that we have here. So we were watching that, right? And this anime is called Megalobox, and the main character, he basically is really just he's had a tough life, a very, very tough life. And every time that he encounters a very difficult scenario or a difficult obstacle, he faces it head on. And when he gets knocked back down, he gets back up. Battered and bruised, no matter what, he gets back up. And he goes through all this turmoil and strife and pain, but he continues to go and he continues to keep fighting. So there is one phrase that they say at the end of the show. It's near the bottom, it's in the corner of the screen when they show it. And it always says, "Not dead yet," at the end of the anime, at the end of the episode. And it caught my eye because as someone who's gone through a lot of shit, as we both have, I like to take pride in the fact that I'm still here and I'm still fighting and choosing to stay in the fight, no matter how hard shit gets. So that is why I referenced Not Dead Yet. Because early on, Jose would know and all my friends would know, I used to complain a lot about every little thing. But now, no matter if I'm good or bad, I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. I'm still fighting. Through all the pain, through all the good times, bad times, what have you, still fighting. I'm not dead yet. So while that is the case, I'm going to continue to fight. And that is where I got the reference from. And I really, really love that reference because I like to speak to the fact that if you still have breath in your lungs and you woke up this morning and if you wake up tomorrow, God allow it, God please bless that. If you do wake up tomorrow, you still have time left. You still have power or some sort of control left to maneuver your life how you want to maneuver it. Because you're not dead yet. You're still here. So you still have the choice to choose to become a better you. And that's what I did when I was at my lowest. And that's what Jose did. And anybody who really is great chose to continue to keep the fight. So Jose.
And it's not over until it really is over.
Exactly.
A lot of times we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life. And naturally, when things get worse and worse, we focus more on ourselves. We become more conceited. We stop worrying about our surroundings. We stop worrying about the other people. And that's what causes us to make the problems even worse. We tend to overthink and stew in the negative and just figure out how to try, or we meditate on how to get out of the situation. And generally that actually makes it worse. It makes an infinite loop because there's no solution to a lot of problems. And then we just ruminate on it over and over and over and over again. And the way our brain is wired, it's not wired to stop thinking about something that it can't figure out. It's actually wired to continue thinking about the thing that we can't figure out. That's why so many people need closure in relationships, because they can't just move on. Now, this makes me think of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. So for those of you who don't know, Viktor Frankl is a survivor of the Holocaust, and the book is about his experience and the texture of his brain and his existence of while he was in a concentration camp. From the get-go, he's separated from his wife, and they don't exactly tell him what happens to his wife, but he knows from the second that he got into the concentration camp his wife was. So they separated them in the line, and she went straight to essentially the burners. The rest of the book, he talks about how he was able to contend with the difficulties of life. Every day he'd wake up, he was famished. You know, if you were fortunate, you would get peas in the bottom of your soup, because if not, it was just soup, and you would get a bigger piece of bread that's not moldy. All kinds of horrendous struggles, yet in his mind, he's explaining that the texture of his mind is nothing but positivity. He's envisioning his wife. He's envisioning seeing her. He's envisioning the life that they will have when they get out, or even imagining that she's there somewhere in another building. He's thinking about, look how these people interact. Look how this happens. Look at the way that the sun rises. Look at how the snow falls. See how it feels when you have frostbite, but how a certain type of snow feels, right? Certain little things that he's focused on, because he's not dead yet. Every single day he's alive. And he says, interestingly, the people who survive aren't the most optimistic. They're the most realistic. They're the ones who contend with the good days and the bad days with a very, very level head. If it's a great day, great. It's a great day. If it's a bad day, great. It's a bad day. Not, it's a great day, yay. It's a bad day, shit. Even keel. And that to me is just, when I first read that book, it was very real. It's very raw. It brings our problems into perspectives, and that we think that our days are tough and our days are rough, but there's been a lot of people before us, and there will be a lot of people after us that go through very, very difficult times that we can't even fathom.
And you know who this makes me think of?
Who is that?
You're going to have to explain his story, because you're more privy to his story than I am. But I forget his name, but you know him. He has the beard, and he lost his daughter to cancer.
Avery. Hold on. He lost his daughter to leukemia.
Right.
Let's see. Hang on. Loading.
Damn.
Fucking shit.
Anyway. So.
Hang on.
Jose will find his name probably in the next couple of seconds. But this is a guy who has literally experienced damn near the worst trauma that you could have ever experienced in life. He lost his daughter to cancer. And he basically had to sit and watch his daughter die day in and day out until she finally passed.
During the pandemic, may I add?
During the pandemic. So it wasn't like it was a lot of close interactions and that a lot of people could be in the room with him. I think him and his wife had to take turns going in to see her.
Ashley Kane. Shout out to Ashley Kane.
Yes.
At Mr. Ashley Kane, Instagram, TikTok, everything.
Yes. Go check him out. But I'm sure that you can explain his story a little bit more. But again, this guy, if you want to talk about a hard life, you want to talk about you think you're going through some shit, imagine having to sit and watch your daughter die. Your young adolescent daughter.
Not even a year old.
Not even a year old. That you love so much. You loved her more than anything. And watched her die. And he said every day, basically, he would think, okay, if I go to sleep, this might be the night where I wake up and she's not here. And he had to think about that every single day.
You think that he's worried about the line at the grocery store? You think that he's worried about problems or gossip in the office?
About traffic?
You think he's worried about that girl's opinion of him?
About that they didn't put too many sauces or 2 sauces in his Chick-fil-A order?
You think he's worried about Drake's leak?
Oh, you think he's worried about, not having enough shoes or clothes in his closet?
You think he's worried about the interest rates?
Oh.
You think he's worried about politics?
Right.
So Ashley Kane, episode 624 of the Modern Wisdom Podcast, the interview of Chris Williamson, how to overcome the toughest moments of your life. You should definitely watch that. If I have time, I'll link that in this video. He has a line that always resonates with me. And he says, imagine that while your daughter's here, you want nothing more than for her to be happy and healthy. But when she's going to die, you want nothing more but for her to die in your arms. And that's it. Imagine living every day knowing that your child has an incurable disease and is suffering immeasurable scales of pain. And then imagine accepting that that the end is near and that you just want the end to be in your presence. Ashley Kane has stated that he will never recover from this. Everything that he does in his life is by the power of daddy power. He does everything for his daughter. He runs hundreds, if not thousands of miles, cycles thousands, if not tens of thousands of miles, triathlons, swims. He's actually about to do one of the biggest kayaking events, which most people, there's a substantial death rate in this event. All to show his daughter that he loves her. And in the process, Ashley Kane was actually suicidal. After. He had a horrendous fallout. So don't think that he just recovered. He's still hurting, and he will always hurt. But every single day, I'm not dead yet. Not dead yet. He takes every day, no matter how painful it is, he's there. And he's a God-fearing man. And God saved his life once, and that's why he continues to do what he does, so that he can show his daughter looking down on him that he's worthy of being her father.
So when you hear a story like that, and you really have to listen to the YouTube video yourself so you can really grasp his words and just the pressure that he emits, and just you can feel the level of heartbreak and pain through the phone. You can feel it through the phone. It's ridiculous how well he's able to convey what he's been through and maintain himself. And if you hear things like that, then you look at your problems that you're dealing with, and you're over here crying because a girl didn't text you back, or you're crying because you stubbed your toe on the bed this morning and it hurt, and that just made you feel like you just had a bad day. What do you think about his day or his days? Right? And no matter how hard it is, he still gets up and he still does the work. He does the work that even you don't want to do. Imagine a guy that lost his daughter doing more work and being more productive than somebody who lost their Apple Watch and said the world was over. Like, bro, get your head out of your ass. Like, what are you doing? You're worried about some bullshit. You think life has, just turned the worst for you. Just your life is just so much worse than everybody else. Bro, stop being a
victim.
Yes, it's a nicer word. Stop being a victim. Because every day that you wake up, again, that's a day that you can choose to be better and choose to do the things that you need to do. Because I was literally at the point of saying, hey, man, kind of don't, not really feeling this thing. But I said, you know what? I might as well play this thing out. Because I don't know where I'll end up. I don't know what tomorrow will be or what tomorrow will hold. I don't know what next month will hold. I've been going down this trajectory, this downward trajectory, and I'm pretty much at rock bottom. It doesn't get much worse than this. So maybe I'll just play this thing out and at least try to improve, because I'm not dead yet. I feel like I can still do something. So let me at least try. And I said that while I was in my little twin bed in a shitty ass dorm room. My roommate Lando was next to me, also going through depression at the same time. And didn't have much going on for myself at that point in time. Besides, just some little accolades that I achieved, and I'm not going to go into those, but didn't have much going on. I wasn't where I wanted to be. Now, fast forward like six years. Now I'm sitting in a fucking corner penthouse with fucking this amazing view. We got multiple businesses. I got 6-pack abs. This is however many girlfriends later. This is however many situations later.
International supply chains.
International supply chains. I got networks with millionaires.
Group chats with multimillionaires.
Group chats with multimillionaires. My brother is here next to me. Man, and we're
not even bragging.
We're not
bragging.
This is
just our reality.
This is just reality. So when I say you're not dead yet, you still have life within you, and you still have the power within you to change these things. Again, I was at rock bottom. Now I'm living in a place that we dreamed of being in when we were kids. So you never really know how far you can go unless you try. You're not down and out until you say or till you choose to be down and out. The only person that can choose that for you is the man above or you. And until that day where he says, hey, yeah, I'm calling you back up here, it's your choice. So if you're not where you want to be and you're sad, you're lonely, you're depressed, you're all that shit, at that point, it's a choice. It was a choice that I was staying in. Ashley Kane doesn't choose to just wallow in sadness all day and just sit on his couch and be in pain. He chooses to do things that he knows that he needs to do for his daughter. Mm-hmm. And if you see a man like that has hit rock bottom.
Turn around real quick. Sorry. Somebody just literally hopped an entire curve. An entire curve.
I hope they can see that on the fucking whatchamacallit. That shit would be hilarious if they can see that.
I had to interrupt that dialogue because that
was crazy. Because what the fuck?
They must be having a bad day.
Yeah, they must be. But just like that car, see, look, watch how I do this. Just like that car, when life gives you a road bump, just because you hit it doesn't mean that you have to stay there. You can proceed, you can go over it, and you never know what life is like on the other side of that road bump.
He's nice like that guy.
You know what I'm saying? Because he might have thought, or that person might have thought, man, I just hit something. Shit's fucked up. My car is fucked up. I can't progress, blah, 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 blah. Little do you know, okay, you rolled over it. Oh, shit's okay. Like, you know how many potholes that I've hit? And I'm like, damn.
You gotta turn the music down.
Yeah, that
shit was so bad. You gotta turn the music off. You're like,
shit, I just got a flat. I know damn well I got a flat.
I gotta get my shit realigned. Fuck.
But you keep driving, and the little notification thing, the meter thing doesn't come on. It's like, oh, I'm straight. Then you keep going like shit didn't even happen. And that's how most that's how shit is. Yeah, I know. Target card. But that's how most shit is. Like, we make things worse in our heads than they actually are. And we choose to claim defeat before defeat is even bestowed upon us. Because we've been in games, Jose and I, when we were younger, we were hooping. And it was just us two, really, the only people on our team that were hooping like that. We might have been down, like, who knows? We could have been down 8-2 in a game to 15, right? But all it takes is that one thing, that one moment to happen, that one spark. All it takes is that one decision to be like, man, fuck this. We're not quitting. We've been waiting to get on this fucking court for the longest. We're going to let them beat us 8-2. We know them. They're not all that. Fuck that. We put in the work, end up coming back from an 8-2 fucking deficit, won the game. So you never know truly if you're down and out until the fat lady sings. And most of the time, you're the fat lady singing. Calling yourself out. The fat lady's over there like, damn, I don't even have to do my job. He's doing it for me.
Yo, we got to make a t-shirt. Not dead yet. And on the back it says, are you the fat lady singing?
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like, stop being the fat lady in your own story. Let her do her job. Her job is to sing when it's time for her to sing. You over there singing before it's her time. You over here calling it quits before you have to call it quits. And when people like you do things like that, and I hate to use this, but it lets people like us or other people in general put in the work and get the success that could have been meant for you. That could have been your success. That could have been your money. That could have been your girl.
It probably was your girl.
But because you decided to quit, you decided to not keep going, you said, man, you didn't say, I'm not dead yet, so let me keep trying. People that live by that mentality, that think, man, as long as I'm here, as long as I wake up in the morning, I still got some shit to chase. I still have things to do. I can still do this. I can still get better. We win. And if I were you, that would bother me a little bit.
Oh, 1,000%.
So don't let people like us be out here beating people like you who quit too early. Because most times, and I saw something, a post about this today while I was posting my stuff. Go follow our shit. But it was like the difference between a person who has $1 million or who's successful and the person who's not successful is that the person just tried one more time. The rich person just tried one more time. Sometimes it's all just one more try that separates those from winning and separates those from losing.
You never know what's next.
You never know what's next.
You really don't. And I want to make something very clear. By the way, the video we just posted just shot up in less than 45 minutes.
Hey, shout out y'all, man. That's why I fuck with y'all. That's why I'm trying to help y'all right here. Stop being a fat lady.
Even if y'all don't love us, we love you.
Yeah, we love y'all.
That's just the kind of men we are.
Exactly, man.
We were raised right. DMs are always open. Anyways.
Unless you... Yeah, never mind.
Patreon podcast.
Pay a Patreon. Yeah, tune into that where we could start talking candidly.
I used to have a lady that I spoke to.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And she would get on me. This was like early college. And she was like, Jose, you can't always apply your logic to other people's lives. So my filter is very simple because I come from Nicaragua, a third world country. So when I see somebody complaining about a certain thing, I say, okay, cool. Your water's broken. At least your water wasn't shut off. You had your internet's off. Great. What about having unregulated electricity shutoffs? And she would always be like, you can't do that. That's not fair. And the reason I bring this up is because us saying what we're saying might seem unfair. And I agree. It's hard to compare our lives to Ashley Kane. It's hard to compare our lives to Viktor Frankl. But don't use that as a way of coping out. Don't use that as an excuse to say, oh, well, yes, their lives are substantially harder than mine, but mine's still hard. Or, well, don't use it as a way of saying my life doesn't matter. Don't think that that's what we're trying to tell you. That if you're not suffering at the same degree, that your pain is not worthwhile. Every single difficulty that you encounter is your unique experience, and we're not taking that away from you. If the most difficult thing you have faced is not as difficult as somebody else's, that doesn't take it in quality down from being suffering. If I break my leg or I lose my leg, they're both painful and they're both suffering. Just because I lost it or just because I broke it doesn't make one better than the other.
Right.
And so I say all of this to tell you, take your unique experiences, your unique pains, your unique sufferings, your unique difficulties, and when it's unbearable, when it's crushing, remind yourself, this is hard. Other people have been through worse. I will be okay. I'm not dead yet.
And oddly enough, this is something that's very interesting because as you progress, and we've alluded to this before in other podcasts,
Sneeze break.
excuse me, because I am partially dealing with some form of sickness or some allergies or something.
Both simultaneously.
Yeah, at the same time. Because
Well,
life is great.
While just being the illest
Right.
out there.
But here's the thing, though. Not dead yet. So since I'm not dead yet, I still have to come and do this podcast no matter how I feel, because that's what we've agreed upon. That's what we do. And we have to even sometimes say, hey, we're going to have to record 9 podcasts ahead of the regularly scheduled podcast that we have to do in order to deal with, in order to travel for business trips. That's what we have to do. And we have to do it because we still have breath in our lungs and able to do it. So that's what we're going to do.
And we have an obligation to our viewership.
Exactly. We have an obligation to you guys. Exactly. So we have to give y'all what y'all need, you know what I'm saying? But oddly enough, as you go through shit, you never know what you're able to go through until you go through it. Most people would say, man, I couldn't deal with being so depressed to the point to where you can't feel anything. You don't feel happiness. You don't feel sadness. You just feel nothing. If I was to experience that, I couldn't do it and I couldn't get out of it. But the thing is, you never know what you're able to do until you go through it. I thought that same thing while I was going through it. I was like, man, I can't do this. There's no way for me to get out of this until I got out of it. So you have to realize that these hard things are going to happen to you. These difficult things are going to happen to you, but don't shortchange yourself. You're stronger than what you think. You can put up with more than what you think. You don't have to be the world's strongest man in order to deal with, life's bullshit that happens. You don't have to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in order to deal with life's problems that occur to you in life. You don't have to look like that. You can be a small, frail person, but deal with the worst shit like nobody's business and deal with it like it's just like, okay, whatever. We've seen it in, the hood here in America. We've seen it in different countries like Nicaragua where, it might be a small, frail guy that has to carry, what'd you say, the fucking...
3 sacks of 50 kilograms each.
Exactly.
Literally across the street.
Exactly, across the street. And it might look like the shit's tough, but...
He does it like it's nothing.
Exactly. He does it like it's nothing because he has to do it.
Yeah. That's his job.
That's his job. And he's not dead yet. So until that happens, he has to do it. And you would say, man, he doesn't look like he can put up with a lot. But you don't know what you can do until you do it, until you go through it, until you try to get through it. Because there was a lot in life that I was skeptical about until I got through it and did it. And now I believe in myself more than ever. So you have to get those experiences sometimes. You have to go through tough shit to realize what you're capable of. And once you realize what you're capable of, you can realize that, man, I'm not dead yet. So I can figure this shit out. I can go through some shit and make it through even if it's tough. And when you have that experience, when you've experienced those multitudes of things where you've battle tested yourself, then at that point, you know that you can get through. And once you know that you can get through, you can accomplish things that you can never imagine. And Jose, it looks like you're very in tune with something. What are you looking into over there?
Do you have anything else, Austin?
No, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
That's not my question.
I know. I'll fuck with you.
I wanted to close out with a quote from Marcus Aurelius. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work. As a human being, what do I have to complain of? If I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do, or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm. So you were born to feel nice instead of doing things and experiencing them. Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants, and spiders and bees going about their individual tasks, putting the world in order the best they can, and you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands? You don't love yourself enough. Or you love your nature too, and what it demands of you. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. You see, we believe self-love is shouting affirmations in the mirror.
Right.
We believe self-love is saying, I'm amazing, I'm worthy, I'm a goddess, you go girl. Or I'm a savant, I'm the man, I'm top G.
Or I'm going to treat myself to a shopping spree.
Right.
Or a
retail
nice dinner,
therapy. But I will tell you one thing. Real self-love is understanding that you have a part to play. Whether that be you might be that one person that keeps another person from ending their existence. You might be that one person today that sees a random person on the side of the curve having a very difficult day, and you walk by and you say, how are you? And they say, not too well. And you spend 5 minutes listening to them, and that's enough for them to change the trajectory of their life. You might be that one person who's working at as a cashier that simply just makes people happy. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter the accolades that you have. It doesn't matter the reputation that you carry. You have the potential to impact anybody and everybody in a positive manner. Yet you find ways to complain about your difficulties when, if you truly understood that you actually you matter and you are important, and that you have the capacity to become better, stronger, more important, and more respectable, and help more people and increase your reach further, then you wouldn't have this problem. Now, as Bedros Keuilian says, it's perfectly fine to be sad. It's perfectly fine to be down and out. It's perfectly fine to fall. Dust yourself off after you allow yourself some time to sit on the pity potty and get up and move. I'm not saying disregard the negative altogether. Let it happen. Feel it. Feel the ebbs and flows of life, the ups and the downs. To the core of your being, feel it. But recover and use that as fuel and energy so you can understand life and reality for what it is.
That is bars, my brother. You know what? On that note, I think we got to cut that off, man. Hey, he's giving you too much right now. So on that note, the AM Club Podcast.
Signing out.
Mic check. The AM Club Podcast.